humble casters, so what do I know?
And Tokyo and Darren Val played their third place match last night, which Tokyo took that 2-0. Darren did put up a heck of a fight against Nero in his match with him, but could not overcome the God Gamer.
And with all of those explanations, we're on the way for the start of the finals. So start of race 1, and oh my gosh, they're already killing stuff. There's explosions everywhere. It's just amazing. I can't wait to see what else explodes during this run.
Okay, so
as
at
long
the
as
very
it's not
start,
my computer.
At the very start, they're going to be just holding right, mashing out everything in their path. And then hopefully the bees won't be too passive on them. They don't want to take too much damage here.
Let's see, but oh, there's a machine gun for Aki, but Nero gets a passive, so
yeah, they both got sort of a passive. Nero was able to only get through with one bonk, so
yeah,
he only
did a one bonk
he's
strat.
pretty safe.
He will be fine, even if
Ooh,
he didn't
Nero
get a double
gets
passive,
a double passive, yeah, and only took one hit for each. So he's got some HP to work with for task cars coming up here at the end of the stage. They both actually have the same HP.
Yeah, it's funny because they got completely different patterns, but because Nero altered his strategies to match, it really didn't matter as far as the HP. But as you can see, Aki is like a second ahead of him just because of that RNG. And oh look, it looks like we have another big contender in the X series popping by today for the finals, as we see Luis pop in the chat. People have been asking where he is these days. Well, he's right there in the chat. Say hi. Oh, also, I want to make one shout out to one kind of special person who is feeling extremely bad right now. And everyone's going to wonder, like, well, Drago, who could be so special that he has to feel bad about this finals? Well, I hope that everyone remembers this one guy called Lasso42. And at the start of this tournament, you know, everyone gets put into groups and then has to play to get out to the brackets. And Akiteru and Nero and Lasso were a group of 3. I can imagine I can imagine that Lasso right now just feels like, well, if that wasn't a group to just tell me to bend over and take it, then I don't know what is, because he was matched up with the 2 guys that went to the finals.
This is a rematch then. I didn't realize that until you brought that up. But yeah, these two did face... We're in the same pool together, and now they're facing each other one more time to take it all.
Yeah, so I believe actually that in the groups, I think overall over the course of the tournament, I do believe that Aki put down the better average time. But when they faced off in their group, I'm pretty sure, I'm sure that Nero actually took victory over there. So it's kind of like Aki has this really big style of going all in, takes it all or nothing, and like we see on a couple other players as well. So he's really fast. We see that he puts down really great times, and Nero seems to be a little bit slower on average, but then you do have on that end, Nero is a very consistent player that even though he may be a little bit slower, he's very less likely to go for risky strats. He takes everything safe and makes sure that he gets through fine all the time. And with that, we have a synced Dash Boots capsule.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
With Aki having a 31-13 as a PB, Nero I think just PB last night with a 31-39. But none of that really matters here. This game is filled with RNG everywhere, so it may come down to see who gets the better end of that. And Aki gets hung up there, so does Nero in that hallway. So they're both going to come out of it basically at the same.
Yeah, there's a couple little small mistakes coming in. I do believe both players only fired up stream right before the matches here start, so we don't know if they actually had some decent warm-up, yes or no.
I would imagine they would probably warmed up a little bit before jumping into this.
Yeah, I would guess so. For the finals.
Yeah, I don't see either of them coming into this cold. So for the Penguin fight, they start off with that charge shot, then they're going to use a dash shot while Penguin's blowing the ice penguins, like on Nero's side. And then they're going to try to finish it off with a full charge, trying to maximize that damage per second ratio.
Yeah, and if Penguin gives you a lot of slide, it can be quite annoying. So far we got 3 and 2 on the slides. 4 and 3, actually. 4 and 4. 4 and
Yeah.
4. Same amount of slides and almost synced kill time. So,
yeah, Nero got a double slide there at the end, so he fell a second behind Aki, but... Oh, and he gets the fade out to make up 20 frames.
Nice.
So,
Taking
for those that don't know
anything-
what a fade out is, if you pause the game just as X is about to walk to the center to start the fanfare, you actually... It fades out the screen, but it still plays the fanfare.
Mhm.
And that actually kind of synced them up a little bit. I think
Oh.
Aki's stage select may have been a little slow.
Well, so far it doesn't really matter. Like, it's all a bunch of frames apart. As you can see, they're just almost synced, just jumping through this and dashing along. This should be fun because Kwanger stage is actually pretty difficult. Even that bonk was like, wow, it's like I'm watching 2000 Save Stream. This is amazing. Yeah. Oh, Aki ruined it. But this is really cool because you can see that both players really know what they're doing. And it's always nice to see people so close and in sync to each other. And yeah, so we have actually a race for people who are not all up to date on that. Aki is located in Canada. I don't know exactly where in Canada, probably somewhere in the house. And Nero is over in Japan, probably also in the house.
I believe he's Prince Edward Island, from what I heard.
No idea, I have no clue where that is, except that it's on an
that's out there in the middle of... Oh, that's... Oh, okay. Aki just told us where, yeah.
Well, I hope he's replying to the chat and he's not listening to us, because that would be, like, distracting.
So yeah, Aki's actually ahead of me in the time zones, so... He's not up too early. Nero, though, is, it's not time for him right now.
Yeah, it's pretty close to that, but it's kind of hard. Like in settings like these, you do have to find a time that's kind of suitable for both players, because you don't really want to have someone like, you know, in the middle of the day, I'm fresh away, just at my lunch, you know, I'm feeling pretty good, and the other guy just wakes up like, I'm still zombie.
Looks like both players are going to finish off Kuwanger basically at the same time. They both got a pretty good dance, but they both started teleporting, get teleports basically at the same time. So right now we're still basically even at this point. But this is only the first game. I wouldn't be surprised if this went to game 5 and it was the same throughout.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to tell if it's going to go to game 5. I mean, both runners, or like right now, we know they're going to be pretty tight together in these games, so it's pretty hard to predict like where it's going to go. It's all going to be on the flip side of little things, and even the potential that some good and bad RNG can make a big difference in places like Sigma 2 and on the claws in Sigma 4. Or like in these little rocks in the Chameleon Cave, as you see Nero get smashed like in the head 2 times with a rock.
And,
but still get out synced because, you know, he was slightly ahead, but now it's all at the same place again.
So yeah, since this is a best of 5, we could that just makes the chances of having a 6th game that much larger, because if there's one tie and we have 2 wins, then we have to settle it in overtime. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. And they're synced going into the Chameleon door.
Yeah, so indeed in the Hundo tournament that we had, I believe, almost 2 years ago by now, there was indeed a tie recorded by SRL Racing Bot. So there was a bit of controversy among the chat about whether yes or no someone...
Aki got a little hung up there trying to get that first shot on Chameleon. Ended up at least a hit behind. So Nero's going to take a second lead coming out of Chameleon. But 1 second doesn't mean much in this game, so
yeah. To continue what I was saying just there, so actually both runners saw like, yeah, there was a tie, and chat of course saw on the stream, yeah, but this guy was like a second ahead or something, but both runners were like, you know guys, we're just gonna replay it. because that will be the most fair. Because, you know, at the end with a little bit of stream delay and whatnot, plus a little bit extra delay from a restream potentially, you can never be really sure what's going on. So just to be fair, they settled it in a new race. And
yeah,
I do believe Nero eventually overtook the Fatso at that time.
The precision of the timing at RaceBot, it only counts seconds. It doesn't count any subdivisions of that.
Yep. And with that, here we see...
And once again, they're synced. Will we see
kicks,
a death...
That kicks, that... Yeah. Aki definitely going for that. There do it too. I was looking on the left and I missed it somehow. I'm probably blind.
Yeah, it looks like Aki got it.
Yeah, Aki got it, but did Nero actually go for it?
No, I think Nero actually played it safe.
Yeah, well, that is actually a bit of a testament. It's something that can make a big difference, and it's something I highlighted before, is that Nero is always the master of safe strats, is always going to be consistent and safe. And I did mention at the very start of this ace already that Aki is going to go all in, no matter what. He's a bit in the style of other people like Fatso, Louise, who we know. It's like, look, I'm going to do everything at safe time, or I'm going to do nothing. So just get out of my way, and I'm doing this. So
and Nero gets dives, which that's going to put him a little bit back, but also Aki gets some dives, but he gets them for fairly late. And Aki does get a good shot on Eagle there to finish him off in the air. Just taking a guess, and the chameleon sting that shoots upwards, hitting Eagle in the corner as he spawns on screen.
And with that, we can also answer chat's question, like, who will Eagle screw over? Nero! At least in race 1. And we don't know yet what will happen later in this race. It could be still dramatic too.
So Akiteru's lead is growing just a little bit here. About 3 or 4 seconds.
He's a little bit ahead, but it's really barely worth mentioning, because we've seen so far that either runner in every stage has been slightly ahead or slightly behind and just catch it up anyway. As we see Nero take a little extra damage boost there. We're just gonna call it damage boost because it sounds better, I guess.
Akiteru makes it through the hallway fairly well, and now we're coming up on Thunder Slimer. Using these boomerangs to deal more damage while Slimer is on the ceiling. And he stays on the ground too, and that allows Akiteru...
That's a really good pattern for Aki, and Nero has to be a little bit careful because he's low on HP. Okay, he has 1 HP left. If he gets... Oh, he doesn't get any kind of drops. One mistake now will cost him his life.
Yeah.
And this stage can be a little bit... Oh, okay, takes that. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh no, Nero dies in the middle of the mandrill stage. What's going on? That's not how this is supposed to go. Well, that's quite unfortunate. Yeah, Nero will take... It's not the worst of deaths to have. He will probably be set back about, what, 10 to 15 seconds here?
Yeah, he didn't lose that much progress since he just passed the checkpoint, but obviously any death this early, you're going to be set back for a little bit. And Akiteru is just slowly whittling down Mandrill's HP with this ice shot. And then, as you see, he finishes Mandrill while staying in the middle, so he doesn't have to walk to the middle of the screen. So in X1, anytime before you teleport out of the stage, X has to walk to the middle. So you want to be as close to the center of the screen as possible. As you see, Aki teleports out and Nero's just starting the fight. So that's at least, I would want to say, about 30-second gap.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of a gap right there. So we'll have to see what happens. But obviously it's not over, but you really do want to avoid having any kind of accidents like this during the 8 maps, because I always feel like for most people the 8 maps, and definitely in any percent, the 8 maps is usually the easier part of any percent. It's usually the Sigma stages that make the really big difference in this category. Not to mention that actually most of the stages are handled quite decently, and it's usually more of the bosses, or potentially, because let's be fair here, it's really Thunder Slimer that caused that death, causing so much damage to Nero's HP.
Yeah, he got stuck on those bubbles and has to break out of them, and Thunder Slimer just jumped on him and couldn't really do much about that.
Yeah, it's really a terrible mid-boss to face, but yeah, he's part of the game and you can't really do anything about it. Sometimes he just gets really mean to you, and you just kind of have to take it.
So Aki preventing the spawning of these birds by not being on the cart when he passes specific trigger points. And now we're going to see how many rolls that Armadillo is going to give Akiteru. He could roll for quite a bit and give Nero a chance to come back. As you see, Nero's taking Mammoth next instead of Armadillo. Okay,
just one roll for Aki is actually not too bad. The rest of the fight is actually not so special. Well,
but he rolls
a couple
again.
extra rolls. That might lose you a little bit of time. Since you already lost the armor, you can still just blast away at him for free.
Yeah.
It's not really a big deal. Except you might have a little bit thrown off timing. And Nero actually finishes off Mammoth with a decently off-screen kill. This will save him a little bit of lag frames. So, maybe not the biggest deal. And he also gets another fade out, so that's another 20 seconds he closes in on Akiteru. Plus, wait. Let's also not forget. Did I say seconds? Oh, sorry, yeah. I meant 20 frames. Excuse me, not 20 seconds. He will save those later. He also saved another 2 frames by going Mammoth 6th, which is actually legitimately faster in stage select by 2 frames. It's optimized. So good job for Nero on that 2 frames that he saved over Aki right there.
So now Nero's doing Armadillo, and we got Akiteru going into Octopus. Gets to the first submarine fairly well, doesn't take any damage. Now we got the second submarine here. He takes out that searchlight to prevent the searchlight from going active and causing more lag. And then when you're up close to the submarine like that, it'll try to blow you away from it. So you can actually just walk against the force of the jet, and you can just start mashing shots into him. Yeah. Takes out the Udoboros.
Before it's ever seen. I mean, what Udoboros? I haven't seen Udoboros. Did you?
And also, now let's see how Aki does Octo. Go ahead, Drago.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny when you talked about the submarine, how it's always different to think about speedrunning strats, because that searchlight is kind of so harmless when you think about it in a casual play, because like, oh, this doesn't even deal damage to me. But when you're a speeder, it's like, oh god, no, the lag, this is terrible. It's like always a really big difference. And while I'm talking here, Aki gets a no trade.
And Nero is getting the rolling. Rolling.
What is this?
Rolling.
What?
Oh my goodness!
I think Nero just kind of like gave up there. That was ridiculous. What?
And right as Armadillo decided to stop rolling, he just jumps right into Nero, right on the wall, and kills him.
I'm not sure if Nero just killed himself there on purpose or what. No, dude. No, just stop it.
Rolling. Shout out Slit Biscuit.
Oh my god. I am gonna go.
This is dirty, I'm telling you.
I am, take my word on it, if Nero wants, I will pay this man a freaking new card, because that is not okay. I will buy him a new X1 cartridge, because that is just not okay. What the hell, dude? How much time did he just lose to Dillo alone? Wow, that is the dirtiest thing all day.
He probably lost a minute, I'd say.
Wow, okay. I've seen it all. I'm throwing my suit away and I'm out. Because that... I'm done. That's just it. Oh my god. Jesus.
Well, Aki finishes off the 8 Mavericks here with going to be an 18 for sure.
Yeah, an 1854.
Late 1853, but man.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm still being, I don't know, dumpstered by what happened to Nero. Can we just have like a minute of silence for this man, because that just feels so bad.
Nah.
Jesus.
This is just as chat's pointed out. This is just a warm up for Nero. Nero's getting the bad RNG out of his cart now.
It's like Nero tried to prove something. He's like, I might have no world record in X1. But actually, I do have a world record in X1 because if I'm not mistaken, oh no, it's QTT and not Nero, right? As the world record for the rolls.
I have no clue. I don't think it matters at this point.
It's QDT, it's QDT, I'm sorry. I thought it was Nero, so I thought he wanted to prove like I do have a world record in this game, but never mind. At least he had a good shot at it.
So the platforms there didn't quite work out for Aki trying to get the leap of faith, but at this point I don't think he really has to worry about being in any danger of losing a lot of time unless he gets reckless.
Yeah, well, I mean if Aki just plays this out just fine, he's probably gonna be okay. Oh boy.
Oh, God! Don't give him the infinite too, please. Don't.
I'm so scared for Nero right now. When I see him jump into the drain, I'm like, no, please don't, please don't. Oh man.
I think it goes without saying that the game respects the world record holder because I haven't seen Akiteru get any kind of severe bad RNG the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Of all the matches I've watched.
I don't think I've actually seen any kind of super bad Dillo rules either in the matches I casted, and then it's so stupid. Like just now in the finals, this needs to happen, and you can only feel so bad because, I mean, that cost you like a minute. Okay, he already died in manual, so he was already behind. But this is just like adding insult to injury because he could do nothing about that. It's like okay, yeah. Sorry, you'll just have to take this now. And it makes his chances of game one like really low.
So Akiteru finishes off Val. I don't know if we're going to see a Kawanger skip attempt out of Akiteru at this point. I don't think he's gone for it at all this tournament.
I don't know if Aki does it. We'll see in a second, I guess. He did release the C-Sting in time for it, I suppose. So if anything, Nero is just going to hope for a soft lock here. Ooh, nope. Oh,
he goes for it, but no dice.
Yeah, didn't actually grab it at the right point. It would actually be a thing, of course, if Aki actually grabs the door at the wrong point, then he could just soft lock the game, and then Nero is in the lead again. So, yeah.
So Akiteru gets the dance on Kawanger for a little bit, but he will stop that pretty soon, and then you just have to finish out with torpedoes.
Yeah, and the rest of Sig1, there's probably not much danger left. There's this little hallway, and honestly, at this tier, runners don't really have issues with Bow Spider, usually. Then again, I would say that a lot about runners of this tier, but we have already seen some accidents before, so you never really know, but let's just assume that he will be fine. And then we're kind of looking at, like, what can go wrong or right, or, well, I mean, you kind of have to look at what can go wrong for Aki for Nero to be able to catch up, because even if Nero just does his best, it's not going to be enough to just do his best to catch up here. So we're kind of, to see this go right, or to get close again, like, something needs to happen to Aki somewhere. It at least needs to take a death somewhere.
Yeah, something extremely tragic. A death probably is the only thing that could bring it back, but at this point, we can just sit here and watch and just wait to see how this plays out for game one.
Yeah. And not even just any death, because it would be like at Sigma 2 at the start, if you like drop off the platforms, that just wouldn't be enough to even cut it. He would really need to have like a major death, like Sigma 3 at the end of a Maverick or something like that.
Or Sigma, or even Final Sigma, something that drastic.
Yeah. Or Final Sigma, of course, which would be the most obvious one. It's still the most risky part, even for these runners. Oh, and Nero gets a little HP refill.
Yeah, that's
feels game feels a little bit bad for him for what it's done to him so far. It's like, oh, okay, I'll refill you for Bow Spider. All right, just to make up for what happened, Dillo. Okay, no, please don't flame me. Please don't burn me after this race is over.
So let's see how Penguin cooperates for Aki. He already gets one slide.
Let's count them. 2.
Oh, he gets a double hit with the charge flame.
3.
So, 3 slides, and we're gonna get 4. No,
4. 5.
Yeah, 4.
It's gotta be 5. See, 5. 5. Told you.
About average Penguin slides.
Yeah, 5 is actually
maybe below average.
5 is actually, I think, above average. I think on average you get like 2-3, especially because you play here with the Fire Wave, which is a lot of damage. It's a pretty short fight if you get consistent hits. So that's like a little bit of opening for Nero to catch up a little bit of time again, but again, a Penguin Slider 2 is not going to cut it.
So Akiteru starting the Eagle refight. Let's see if he goes up at all.
Yep. 1, 2. Well, it's gonna be about like what, 5 again?
Yeah, 5 dives.
5-5 for Aki, and then we just have to see what happens to Nero, and see what kind of color revised Akiteru gets.
You know, it looks like Nero, you know, even though he took those deaths, he doesn't appear to be that far behind, but the stage is actually pretty lengthy.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you're so far behind because you think, oh, they're in the same stage and whatnot, but, you know, it's always bigger than you think in terms of actual time.
Aki gets an ice shot on one of the eyes there for 1 damage. The eyes have 10 HP, and the nose actually has 12, so...
Aki actually finished the fight very cleanly. No issues with it. He didn't even take any damage all the way throughout the stage, I believe, so... Pretty good on him. Pretty decent RNG. Nero got, I believe, 4 slides out of Penguin, unless I miscounted. So, he probably saved like the whole whoop in 1 second to catch back up on Aki, so that's pretty good. Right.
So now Akiteru doing the armadillo skip.
Oh, very nice off-screen skill there for Nero.
Yeah, there's only like 2 or 3 pixels of Storm Eagle's sprite that was on screen. That was a really good kill.
Yeah, that must have saved a lot. Oh, missed a little jump there. There goes what he gains from the Eagle lag frames.
Akiteru breaking out the charge boomerang for the CFO chameleon strat.
Okay, let's see what Nero gets. Okay, blue eye. Nice. Marked blue eye. Cool.
Oh man, Nero shot the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, still a pretty decent fight for Nero. It was maybe not the best it could have been, but you know, it was pretty alright.
Yeah.
He didn't have to take any extra cycles on the nose or anything, and you know, eyes were quite alright. I actually, considering how far it's been for Nero so far, I just expected him to get even more insulted and get like a triple green eye or something stupid like that, but luckily I said nothing in advance and he just got out with a couple blue eyes and a red. Gets a nice and clean Dillo skip as well. And meanwhile, Aki has passed over the halfway point of Sigma 3 and is going on to Octo, which is the second to last Maverick refight.
Yeah, Nero just staying in there. I mean, it's not over yet.
Yeah, and you have to think that because of the way that Aki will play this game, like if there are energy drains, he's always going to jump into them. But it looks like so far, this is a double clean fight for Aki with Octo in this run.
Yeah.
He's got 2 times no drains. Aki's been having a really good run. I'd actually be curious to see his splits right now, but I'm not even sure if he's using them because I don't think I've.
Yeah, I don't think he uses splits on races.
Yeah, like earlier I was looking at his splits during Koang. I was like, huh, he's still ahead of his splits because they didn't turn red yet on his timer. But then I thought, he probably doesn't use them right now. So, unfortunately, my sense of timings on this is not good enough to tell you what kind of pace he's on, but he definitely has to be on a good 31 pace.
Oh yeah, definitely. He hasn't made any major mistakes at all, so he's definitely in that 31 zone.
Oh yeah, Jacob, about that shot on Eagle, like, runners will always kind of like guess where Eagle's gonna come down for the last shot, because it saves you a bit of time if he doesn't have to dive all the way down, plus the lag frames you don't have to get.
Yeah, to to answer a question in chat right now, it looks like Nero did pick up a heart tank because his HP does appear to be two units higher than Aki's is.
Yeah, I noticed it earlier, but I actually pointed out because I didn't really want to admit that we missed it in the actual.
Nero actually cut off Octo's tentacles there to prevent any energy drains. Probably the safe bet, but you know.
Yeah,
knowing
it's
that he's
slower
behind, yeah.
than getting 2 energy drains at least, and it's tied with 1 energy drain. But considering with everything that's happened to him so far, you really can't blame him for this. Although it's kind of funny since he only used the strategy of one of the 2 Octofights. He did actually jump to the Octo drains in his first fight, but not on the refight. So it's kind of swapping it up. I'm not really sure why. Probably he just wants to be sure at this point that he's.
I think he just wants to get this race over with and get the next one going. So he's just taking the safest avenue possible.
Oh,
Akiteru getting a little bit of a weird dogfight. He does take a hit, so now he's vulnerable to die on any of these next 2 phases if he's not careful.
Yeah, Aki is legitimately in the one-shot potential for Sigma right now, so he has to be careful and pay good attention to what's going on. This does mean that all those claws being annoying.
Yeah, he can take a hit from a claw, I think, and he'll be okay. But anything else, he's dead.
Yeah, if he takes a fire wave, if he takes a lightning, he should just straight up die. That's about it.
So Aki is getting ready to start the final fight here in this first game.
So, yeah, that is like an instantly.
Yeah, the claw there kind of went after him a little bit, but it was able to stay out of the path of the claw returning to its original position, so he didn't die to the Velgarder head.
There he goes.
And with that,
31 actually.
Yeah, and race improves his race bot personal best by a second. Even though Aki actually kind of mistyped that in the race chat, he hit .done and then hit the backslash. But
never forget.
31-31. How can you compete with that? I mean, that's just good gameplay from Akiteru.
Yeah, he just goes all out and he doesn't stop for anything. He will try all of his top tier strats and not hesitate to do anything. So you really just have to go all out to match it, really, and that's not easy to do. Aki's really experienced.
Yeah, this is what happened against Walrus. Like, Walrus played well too, but Aki just got those insane 31 3Xs, and he said, in his own words, how can you compete with that? You can't. You just can't.
You just have to be just as good, right?
Yeah.
Not that hard. It's a very simple solution. You just gotta match how good he is.
Aki gets the W, and he still needs the I and the N. So, but this is far from over. Still got at least another hour of tournament action to bring you guys on this Saturday morning. This is a good way to kick off your Saturday if you don't have anything planned today. And Nero's not having a little bit of best issues
with
luck.
that one claw.
Yeah,
but he seems to be fine now.
Yeah, he's good.
Warmer hit. We're finishing this up with a race ball time of 33:09. Nero and Aki giving their GGs in the race ball channel, but don't go anywhere unless you need a fresh drink or some snacks, because we still have a couple races to go. Hopefully about 4 of them, which means you have about another 2 hours to sit on your butt and watch these races, which is pretty cool because it's weekend, so you shouldn't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know, watch this.
Speaking of snacks, I'm gonna grab me one. I did go to the store and pick up a few things before.
Nice. Bring me a wiener if you want. And then Nero, we see Nero here. Like, wait, what's Nero doing?
He's probably getting some practice.
Yeah, he's practicing the laxity strat on the elevator. All right. You compete with the 31 3Xs by getting a 30. That seems like the most legit thing, right? You could secretly swap cards with your opponent. Yeah, that is also true. It's also afternoon for me. I actually came home early from work just to cast the stuff. Everyone lives in the NA time zones. Well, even in NA time zones, there's some difference. That's why some people are actually not here right now, because they refuse to actually get out of bed to watch the finals of their main speed game. Can you imagine that? Like, the game that you love the most, you've been playing it for 3 years straight, trying to get good at it, and then there's a tournament, and you're not in the finals, and it's like, what, 5:30 in the morning? I'm out! I'm sleeping. Oh, okay. Huh. So, honestly, a little recap of what happened here. So, the race was pretty close to start out with, and then our first major break came when Nero actually died in the manual stage. Kind of unfortunate because Thunder Slime was a complete dick to him. Gave him some bad RNG, stuck him in the slime ball, then jumped on his head as if he were Mario stomping a Goomba. Man. Yeah, you know, he dies a little bit further into the hallway, a little bit unfortunate, but he was probably kind of thrown off his game. And then, yeah, a little bit further, you can't really do anything about it. We had like, what, almost 20 seconds of rolling. I believe someone reported 18 seconds of rolls on Dillo.
Yeah.
Nero seemed a little bit distracted, or like, what the hell am I doing now? And ended up, yeah, you know, dying to it.
And
even worse.
Like
and then he got another bunch of rolling, yeah, second race going on. But we can use the intro to like just recap a little bit for the people who came in late. Since it's just the intro, so as soon as we get to the Bs, there's not much to report. And yeah, from there it just kind of escalated. Aki was really far ahead after that unfortunate death and a whole bunch of bad RNG, and you know, he just couldn't catch up. So yeah.
Ooh, Aki takes a quick hit right there, not even getting to the first B. And
yeah,
he likes to pick up that health just to make up for it. So Nero gets a quick lead here right out of the gate.
2.5 seconds, got him. That's how you compete with the 3130. You just make him run into an enemy in the intro stage. Now it's gonna at least get a 3140. That's what it is.
Again, Nero gets the double passive, but his mashing is just on point and gets through with only one bonk each.
Yeah, he also is pretty good at the one bonk strat apparently, and he just like gets through like it's nothing. It's pretty cool. It's kind of annoying to see when you look at that. You see people getting these double passive Bs in the middle of a freaking race, and you're like, oh god, really? Can't you give these runners a little bit better RNG? We got a couple shots there for the Aki, but he makes it through.
Nero, I think, had an early shot from one of those cars, had to completely abandon the task car strat, and now he's going to have to take damage from the second car. There he goes, and now he's in good shape.
Yeah, he's actually fine for file. But he did lose that second of lead he had, I guess. But it's if you look at Vile coming out of Eagle's airship, yes, that is Eagle's airship. You see there's only like what, a half-second difference. It's not really worth mentioning.
And
there we go.
It looks like we maintain that half-second separation going out of the intro. So this race is starting just like the last one, pretty much frame for frame almost.
Holy crap! There is someone watching this game at 3:15 at night. If I had a hat on right now, I'd take it off for you. Person.
Yeah, I believe there is a few places that are already in Sunday morning.
Yeah, there are.
I think Kiribati and a couple places like that are already into Sunday.
Wow, we just blew people's mind by saying it was Eagle's airship. Guess what? There's so many things about this game that you never knew, but well, if we think about it, we'll point out some random stuff. It's 2018 and I just realized that it's Storm Eagle's airship. Well, congratulations, your life is now complete. You may now commit Sudoku. That is all I have to say to you, sir. Or you could tell your mom. Tell your mom, she will be proud of you, for sure. Anyway, so we see the people climbing up all the way to the dash boots again. You know, those infamous things that we need for this speedrun, not just a fashion statement. And then your dad pops out of the capsule like, yo, got some boots. Now go fast.
Yeah. This game turns 25 years old later this year.
Oh gosh, really? So
yeah.
That means we're gonna have to do a massive community race, right?
The name of the airship is called the Death Rogmer.
You say what now?
Someone was asking about the name of the Eagles airship. It's called the Death Rogmer. You'll see that in the credits if they let them run that far.
Oh, I've actually seen the credits a lot, but I never realized that the airship's name was in there. Must have missed that one. Cool. Yeah, there's a couple people that know a lot about this game, like little details or names of enemies. We have for example, Fikun in the community. She is someone who like really knows all the names of the enemies. Then you have just people who know like a lot about lore or whatever, or just the little things.
Looks like Aki's getting a decently good penguin so far. He only got one slide that I've noticed. Now two.
48 kill actually.
Yeah, that's
both if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, both of them got good kills.
Nero got a 47, I believe, because he was like even second earlier. That are some pretty gosh darn diggity dang dog good penguin times.
Oh yeah, good penguin times.
Like generally, give you an idea in the speedruns, I do believe that top tier runners will mostly cut off when they get to a 450 kill or higher, but there are some people who take it more extreme who will be like 47, 48 is the cutoff for actually not taking the penguin time. And let me tell you, a 447, 48 is pretty dang fast. Although we have seen kill times on Penguin go as low as 443, and I believe even 440.
I've seen a 441 come out of somebody before.
I was thinking about whether I seen a 441 already, yes or no, but yeah, it may be that. I don't remember who it was, but it could be. But those are absolutely ridiculously god tier times. They require a sprinkle of legendary mythical 155 intro with some pretty amazingly good RNG penguin and good execution.
So now for the outside of Kuwanger here on the climb, you see Aki's using the ice for a little bit, and now you see Nero using it. The ice or the buster works just as well, but for that one particular ladder there, you have to use the buster to kill the ladder leader. The ice just doesn't have a hitbox large enough to touch it. Yeah, the blue shot actually is a really big hitbox, so it reaches higher than the ice shot. The ice shot would just fly underneath it. And we are synced, pretty much, going into the Kuwanger fight. Nero's got a slight lead. Yeah. So, also, the thing with the ice shot is that you need to fire it mostly up close to an enemy, so you kind of like put your buster inside an enemy, and it'll release the shot, so it explodes inside, and all the ricochet shots hit. Oh, Nero gets grabbed. A little accident there. No! Oh, Nero. Oh, not again. Oh, that is, well, that's unfortunate. Nero getting these RNG bugs here. Well, it's not really RNG. He kind of, like, messed up in the dance, I guess, so... But then he actually took a little bit risky, and he was too late reacting to the grab, and just got smashed to the ceiling 2 times. At least it was pretty early in the fight. Yeah, normally Kuwanger teleports a lot at that point, but he's just right next to him and just got grabbed. Yeah, I've actually noticed in my many times of failing to do this fight properly that if you have some weird stuff going on with Kuwanger that draws him out of his normal patterns, he actually doesn't really care about doing all of that usual teleporting jazz for a while. And even ignoring the fact that he will refuse to teleport inside your hitbox, he just teleports inside your hitbox. Aki takes two block hits so far.
Yeah, it takes a couple of hits to the head there. Shouldn't stop him too much, and this actually does leave Aki again with a pretty good lead on Nero. You have to wonder if he's had a long day or something, because I do believe that we said it was 10:30 for him to start these races, so that is fairly late. I don't know what Nero's normal schedule looks like, but if he's been having quite a day already, he could just be a bit tired as well. Whew, takes a couple bonks there from all those rocks.
Took 4 hits from those rocks.
4 is actually pretty bad. Like, it's not so uncommon to see like a hit or 1, 2, but 4 is quite a lot. Aki there actually gets his buster shot in just fine at the start of the fight this time. And with that, continues to whale damage right onto Chameleon.
Yeah, Nero's only behind by maybe 20-some seconds right now, but like we said before, I mean, this deficit isn't like unrecoverable.
Yeah, it's never over until it's over. That's always the thing with this category. As long as Sigma 4 exists, and believe me, if you come back in 50 years, Sigma 4 is still going to exist, you know. But I'm kind of tracking here, and I do believe that it's a bit more than you said, though. I do believe we're more like 30 seconds behind on Nero's end compared to Aki. Yeah, about 30 seconds. We don't have audio on him, but I used Aki's audio cue on the parade finishing, and then let's look at the animations on Nero's end, so we're about a half minute. But that kid, misses his movement, so he doesn't go for it.
Aki got those nice ice shots on those gun vaults there just before that. Shooting the ice shot at a specific time, where the ice will be just almost off screen when the gun vaults spawn, so the entire ice shot goes inside of his hitbox, and then when the ice shot hits something, it'll break into 5 separate shots, and those shots also hit. So Nero repeating that as I explain it. Yeah. So it takes only 2 good.
Oh my god, that was so scary.
Ooh, he actually, that was close.
He missed his dash for that jump, and for a second I thought he wasn't going to grab that platform.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, dives on the left and a hover.
Yeah, I think Aki elected not to go for death kick this time around.
Yeah, Aki skipped death kick probably because he missed a movement in front of it, I believe. A phantom wall jump, yeah, something like that.
So let's see, we have a 11-10 for Aki coming out of Eagle. We'll see how far Nero is. I'll stop doing that Eagle. Stop diving.
Yeah, it's like, as far as RNG goes, it's not Nero's day so far.
Yeah, it looks like that lead may have increased to about 35 seconds now.
Yeah, I guess the
not quite. It's about 32.
Yeah. 33, I think it was. But yeah, you get that with a couple extra dives. It's like 1 second each, if I'm not mistaken. So that's really it. Now we have to see what Thunder Slimer does, because this guy was actually the true butt of the last race, and where it all started before. And Aki again gets
another Thunder Slimer.
And just to have a little disclaimer here, we're absolutely not saying that the only difference between these runners or that Aki is winning is good RNG, definitely not. But we do have to point out that RNG does make a difference here or there, and a runner can really quite throw someone off their good gameplay a little bit, because you have to adjust to what happens.
All right. So let's see how Nero does again with Thunder Slimer.
Who stays on top. Wow. Well, at least he's not killing him this time.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't come out of the Thunder Slimer with 1 HP, so that's at least about, let's say he's about 12 times better off than last run.
Ooh, Aki manages to, the Buster Charge actually hit Mandrill out of his dash punch. You have to have a charge shot to knock him out of that.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a specific level of charge shot, like any charge shot will do, even a green one is enough to punch him out of it.
Ooh, Nero walked off of a ledge in the dark. Luckily, he was able to catch it.
Pretty good reflex to go with that. Also, a little fun fact about the whole Mandel punching around is that you can actually jump over Mandel punching. It's a little fun thing to know for people who play this game. It's not particularly useful for the speedrun strats where you just ice shot them anyway, but you know, if you're messing around with bust rolling or stuff like that. And with that, we see here's where the route actually splits again, because Aki does go to the Dillo, and we see Nero with that optimized 2 frames saving stage select of going to Mammoth. It's not actually that this specific stage select saves you those 2 frames, but more the fact that after this you just have to go a single input stage select going to Dillo. So that's, well, easy. Just put it that way. And Aki's gotten through most of Dillo, skips that heart. I think actually I missed earlier which heart Nero took, but I do believe it will have been the Dillo one.
Yeah, the Armadillo heart's easily the easiest heart tank to grab since it's right along your path.
Yeah,
and you can use the boomerang
really
to just get it.
Yeah, you don't really have to go pick it up by yourself either. Oh, that really sucks getting it. Oh, okay, shot and go all the way through. Aki gets good RNG.
Another good Armadillo from Akiteru. And even if Armadillo is rolling, he doesn't have his armor, so you can still damage him with the electric spark.
Yeah, it's really only the first initial roll that makes a difference in this case. So we just kind of have to wonder what Nero's going to get when he actually gets the Dillo this time. Although I do sincerely hope that it's not going to be a repeat of race number 1, because I think if that would happen to be like 2 races in a row, I'd be like, okay, you know what, we're done. You can have this finals. Goodbye. But yeah, we'll just have to see as we get there. Mammoth down though, that's always good. And Aki will be moving on to the Octo stage to face off against a lot of mini-bosses. Octo stage is actually like really short. It's just that in terms of game design, this is a bit of a weird stage because it's really just littered with mini-bosses. You have stages where there is no mini-boss like Mammoth, but you know, to make up for stages without a mini-boss, they just put some extra in this one to make sure there are enough mini-bosses for all stages.
Aki making quick work of those 2 submarines. Doesn't appear he took damage until he took a damage from that mine.
And meanwhile, Nero is on the Dillo stage. But these stages are actually pretty short to get through.
Yeah, Armadillo stage, you know, is the longest, but if you don't ride the cart, but when you ride this cart, it goes by very quickly.
Yeah, you don't even notice it because you're pretty much AFK too. So let's see what Aki does here with Octo. He had 2 no-drain Octos in race number 1.
Got a high jump.
Pretty good. So what is up with this guy? Really?
This just isn't fair.
Like, wow,
I demand a cart swap right now.
Okay, let's see what Nero gets. Oh boy, I don't dare to watch.
Yeah, it looks like Nero...
Damn, praise the Lord, there is a god. There was actually no bad RT on Dillo. Wow, okay, let's go. We're in there. Nero must have gotten his hopes up now. Like, okay, Dillo's not stopping me anymore. Time to go. I was actually scared. When I saw Dillo, like, you know, move into a rolling animation, like, curls up, and I see him go to that left wall, I'm like... Oh, I feel so sad for Nero, and then I see him come out like, oh yes, yes, this is amazing.
Akiteru gets a little hung up on the first part of Mammoth, but just gets right back on track. Had to do a couple extra wall kicks.
Yeah, Yeah, Mammoth actually a pretty straightforward stage, no major things to really keep track of. I think, well, when you're new to speedrunning this game as well, for example, for people interested in running this game, try starting on with something like Mammoth. It's actually one of the most simple stages there is. It's nothing really difficult. You can easily take out the enemies or avoid them. No mini bosses, no big tricks. If you're playing any percent at least. Even in Hondo, it's pretty easy. And with that, Aki is on to his final 8 map. And it looks like he's gonna have a pretty damn good time again.
1849. 1849. Much better than... It was about 4 seconds faster than his last race, so
yeah.
I'm not sure where that puts him in regards to pace he's on, but definitely a low 31.
Yeah, that's even better than what he had last time, and you have to think that on his last race he was 4 seconds later on the 8 maps, and he put down a 31-31, and that was with a 5 slide 5 dive.
Penguin and
Eagle and Sig 2, which was not really great, so there's definitely, I guess, room for the 31-2x in this one. Oh, Nero's gonna not jump into the energy drain.
And I think he shot that last rolling shield a little early, and then Octo decided to do the energy drain, and that just kept Nero a few more seconds out. Ooh.
Aki almost fell to that HP drop.
Yeah. Not wanting to take that HP drop. He wants to have his HP at least 6 or less. So Vol will immediately entrap him.
Yeah, you don't really want to take extra punches to the face. I mean, let's be fair. Whoever wants extra punches to the face? I don't. But it does look a lot better than last time, because we see Nero is still behind on this one, but it is a lot less bad than it was in race 1. Of course, we didn't have that major mishap with Dillo this time around, so that really makes a big difference. And Nero here takes a good amount of damage boosts and gets through just fine on that leap of fate.
Yeah, Nero's definitely in this race still, unlike the last one. Oh, he's got 1 HP. Let's be a little careful here.
Okay.
Okay.
He is actually fine. I mean, you want to be low. You don't really want to be that low, but Aki's ahead of his PP. He could actually be. I don't know. I don't actually have a stream open, so
I'm not too familiar with Akiteru's world record splits.
Nero actually gets a little bit of a missed shot there. Let's see if Aki gets the skip, actually. So, yeah, just to inform you, I did open Aki's stream second.
No drop.
But, he does not have his splits open, so I cannot confirm for you if he's ahead or not. But still, it's a really good 8 math time. I mean, the lowest 8 maths time that I believe we've seen is like, I don't know, an 1842, 43 maybe? So let's just say that an 1849 in a race is pretty damn good. And we did not get a Kuwanger skip again, so I don't know if he didn't get a drop or something. Was slightly distracted with other matters. And Nero...
Let's see. Ooh, I don't think Nero's going to be able to get it. I think he missed a couple of dash kicks.
Okay, it just damage boosts through.
Yeah. Nero not having the best time right now.
So far it's not been his day, so... Woo, that was really close when he jumped to Kuwanger there. But he didn't get the double hit, so it was kind of worth it. It kind of feels like Nero is a little bit out of its usual shape here, because it feels like he's taking a bit more risks than he usually would. Ooh, Akiteru with some really nice movement, dodging the spiders and bow spider all at once. pretty fancy to
Aki
see
is
that.
definitely in there now. Like, a damageless bow spotter is very good.
Okay, so according to Loseki in the chat there, Aki's world record had an 1854.88 math time. So in other words, that means that he would be 5 seconds ahead of the world record, his own world record, at the time where he finished the 8 maths. Huh. That's pretty impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, but as good as RNG that Aki's been getting, that's not too
Yeah, well, let's see what he gets this time. Oh, 1 slide. 2. Nice double hit. Ah. 3. 4. Ah. 4 slides. I mean, it could be worse. I mean...
Yeah. So, Nero's starting Sigma 2.
Yeah, there's a little bit of section and well, okay, maybe pretty decent part of that second section, the part 2 plus that penguin fight. But I do believe Nero is still trying his best to really try and catch up and go all out on this. So let's see what the Eagle says. We had 5 dives last time. It's a hover.
No dive.
That is a no dive Eagle with a 4 slide penguin. That is actually really good. So now we just have to see what eyes we get. And I saw Nero with a finishing slide there at the end, but I'm not really sure what the rest of his fight looked like. So, did you catch it? Or
no, I did not.
Bad?
We were both watching.
Yeah.
Aki's on a pretty good pace right now. So I think all the focus is on Aki's run until something like really bad happens. Oh, I thought we was gonna get the snipe there, but not quite.
Okay, that was pretty fast.
Yeah, that was a fast fight from Aki on Rangda.
Nero gets a couple dives there. Oh, just 1. It's not too bad.
That always sucks when you get just 1 dive. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and then a hover into a new dive. Actually, hovers are the worst pattern for Eagle. Not necessarily dives, but when he goes and hovers, it's actually worse. Although in the refight, maybe it's not as bad as compared to when you get hovers in the initial fight. Oh, wait.
Yeah. It takes less time for Eagle to go up off screen in the refight than it does in the initial fight because your platform that you're standing on is much higher.
Yep.
It's not as bad, but it's still bad.
Also, if you would play this in Hondo, it would even be worse in like the initial fight. I know it's not really relevant for this category, but just to say that because if you have Buster only like your blue shot can hit him while he's hovering, and it really sucks.
So Akiteru gets the armadillo skip again, and he's already made quick work of Chameleon.
No, Nero has to go and get that Dillo skip in. Excuse me for coughing, by the way, I've been sick all week, so... Did my best here. Okay, Dillo skip goes through for Nero. If only he could actually skip it on the first fight too, you know, after race 1, he probably want that. Yeah, actually, about Nero on X1%, I remember I was in a chat before this tournament, and I think I was even the one that said, like, so Nero, are you joining our tournament again for X1 Any %? Like, he was invited for the Hondo tournament a couple of years ago, and he just said, like, yeah, I don't have any interest in X1 Any %, and, well, here we are with this guy in the finals, the very same one. So, well, I don't know. Aki gets infinite and we're in there!
Oh! Wow!
Okay,
Finally!
Okay.
Something happened on Akiteru's side. I thought he was going to get off scot-free in this race, but finally something finally happened.
There's the trade-off. There's the trade-off. And the thing is, he's actually still ahead of Nero.
Man.
So, Nero is definitely a whole bunch closer now, but he's not in there yet. But this is definitely a lot more exciting. But I guess it's kind of the trade-off, you know? Aki's pretty
Nero's
good
back
RNG
in this now. Wow.
Okay, yeah, okay. Aki actually decides
thought about it. He thought about it, but it's like, nah.
And Nero cannot get drains here because he will cut off the arms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that run was really good, and then he just gets infinited. Just like that.
I'm actually. It's kind of.
I'm surprised he actually decided to actually try to go for that. I figured he would have just let the whirlpools just play out, but he rolled the dice one too many times, and he paid for it.
Justin, I said this at the start of race number 1. Aki will never back down. He will not. It's just, you have to understand that. He is one of those people who will go all in, and it doesn't matter what the potential cost is, it doesn't matter what the risk is, the eyes are on the reward. And that's it. Like, it might cost him the entire run if this was a world record pace. He has to. That's just it. That's just how he plays. But it's always sad to see a good pace end up getting infinited, but it's just the price of the playstyle, I guess. That's a really good D-Rex fight right there.
That was a good D-Rex fight, yeah. He didn't get smashed between the wall and the base of the boss. Because that seems to happen a lot too. You get D-Rex down to like low health, and he starts going crazy back and forth with the bottom half of the tank. Yeah, and then you lose your footing, you get stunned, and then you get smashed in the wall, and you're dead.
Yeah, I actually think we're only like even less than 20 seconds away from each other at this point. So there's really a major gap close that happened in this time with the infinite on Aki. Fortunately for him, he was really far enough ahead of Nero not to get caught up on, but it does mean that any other mistakes that could be happening now would actually potentially cost him a race. Oh, there we see it took an
inadvertent hit. I think it was anticipating a jump, but ended up jumping
a small hop. They probably expected a small hop instead of a wall jump from the Valgarder. So that does mean that he's at the danger spot. Nero, meanwhile, is taking Valgarder for a little walk across the screen, explodes him, and gets to go on unscathed to Jedi.
So Aki is one boss fight ahead. That's roughly about 20 seconds.
And there we go. Oh, drops down. Needs to be careful.
Uh-oh.
This is a hit. This is another hit.
This doesn't look good.
That's scary because it's really easy to go on. There he goes, though.
No!
The fire wave. It's everyone's favorite weapon, boys. Spam it out loud. Fire wave.
And with that, it
might not be Aki's favorite weapon right now, but still my favorite weapon. Actually, Nero took a hit, so this is not over yet.
Yeah, it's not over, but he's close.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought it was going to hit there.
Wow.
But Nero actually finishes race number 2 with official race bot time of... Why did I close this window? 32:32.
Yeah. So...
And as I actually reopen... Wait, is Aki gonna finish the race? I do see that Aki he forfeited from the race in the SRL chat. Aki is a kind of business, kind of person, so I do have to disappoint people in the chat a little bit, but Aki's like all business, no games. Like, okay, I lost this, you know, screw this. We're gonna go on to the next. It's just all part of the man's deal. Just gonna move on, no regrets. Even says it there in the chat, like with this Aka, you know, I just have to. Actually, look, he even says it to us there that he was still on potential PB pace at that point of the game, so which is to him more important than the tournament race, and that is very understandable. I mean, if you're already having the world record and then you're on PB pace, you're like, yeah, I'm going for this one. But that is also how people put down these times. They just go all in or nothing. Meanwhile, Nero with his I really like this about Nero. Nero is like always going really in all the time during these races. In between races, I mean, he's like, yeah, I have 2 minutes, quick, I'm gonna do quick practice of this or that. It's like really nice to see. Even though if you don't do consistent practice of something, it's kind of hard to really put things down into your muscle memory. It's like, oh, let me just do a quick refresher of what I was supposed to do there because I messed something up. So I'm just gonna quickly go there and yeah.
Okay, looks like we're gonna have a short intermission here. Nero says he's gonna take a quick break, I believe. So that gives you everyone in chat a chance to maybe take a quick break yourselves, get you a quick beverage. Yeah, just to recap what happened in the second race. Aki was on good pace going into the Octo refight in Sigma 3.
He was on PB pace, to be exact, world record that is.
But ended up getting infinited by Octopus on the third energy drain. And Nero came back a little bit, was still behind, and then Aki had an unfortunate hit with the fire wave on the final boss, and Nero was able to close it out.
Yeah, so Aki missed a couple shots there with the claws, and then, you know, claws moving in, left, right, had to dodge a bunch of stuff, and then, unfortunately, he couldn't really dodge a fire wave that was literally aimed at his face,
So we are at 1-1 in a best of 5. We will be guaranteed at least 2 more races.
Yeah, so we still have at least an hour to go, and gosh dang, I'm actually just standing up at my PC, all dressed up in my fancy suit and stuff for this, and my legs are starting to hurt already, so this is looking good. Looking good. At least it's going to be exciting for the people. Also, I do have to say, chat, like I don't want to be mean to anyone or call anyone out impersonal here, but how exactly can a fire wave make a decisive move in an X1 race, and do I not see any fire wave spam in the chat? I am disappointed. Then again, this might not be one of those 12-year-old Twitch streams, so good on you guys, I guess. Yeah, there is just a text difference, as Justin says there in the chat. Hey, Justin, you're right here with me on the Discord to do the commentary, and then you're sitting there in the chat talking to people. What? See, I am happy. We have at least 2 fire waves and 1 guy that's 12. I love you, guy that's 12. Don't reproduce. Not with my mom, for sure. Riot, please. Nice. Yes! Fire wave! Draz gets it! Draz gets it. You can count on this guy to get it. Let's see. Alright, I see that we're gonna have our third race on the way pretty soon, so everyone please fasten your seatbelts and get on the train. Which train? The hype train! With the X1 tournament finals between... I almost read the wrong names, and I almost said Drago and Justin, but I was supposed to read the names on top for that one. Between Aki and Nero. Meanwhile, we're on the topic of who is all involved in this stuff, you might just want to go and give these runners a follow. I will also link the commentators, although if you want to follow a commentator, you should probably do well to follow Justin, because he streams 10 times more than I do. I stream like once a year, if you're lucky. And there's also, of course, well, not really the MMX link, but I'm gonna link you all the speed gaming schedule for later as well. I mean, it is after all weekend, and after we are done here with the X1 tournament, you're probably not gonna see or hear from us for a while, because this will be the final race for this tournament. But we're not done yet, and don't worry, we will be back in the future with some random shenanigans for sure. Maybe some Buster only Hunter tournament again. And of course, at that time, everyone will be welcome to join us speedrunning this game, as we do make a bunch of tutorials and teach everyone how to be fast at this game, or at least a little bit fast at this game, so you can all have fun and race with us. Meanwhile, we've actually gotten halfway through our first intro, sorry, our third intro of the day already, and I actually completely managed to ignore the fact that they got through the beast and what kind of RNG they got, because I was telling you all that you should, you know, just grab an emulator or Super Nintendo and start playing this game. Oh yeah, there is an X4 tourney. Yeah, I'm not really up to date like these days with, so please excuse me for that, but it's, my relay has been a little bit busy, and I do make time to do the commentaries, but yeah, I'm not really up to date with all of the events. I think I've also heard wind before of an X3 tournament, but I'm not too sure about that one, so. And with that, we see Vile there being dropped off, and there gets a bit of a better Vile there. Vile actually always one of these really annoying things in the intro. We never really talk about that much, but if he just stands right next to you as you get caged, it's just free. But sometimes he just hops off the screen, and he's off screen, and he could be just off screen, but also somehow he just jumps back. And it's like he jumped all the way to the other side of the planet, across the moon, and to another galaxy, because it takes like 5 years to get back to you. So
okay, I'm back. I had to step out a minute.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering where you went.
But looks like Nero's got the early lead right away. Anything major happened while I was gone?
They started race number 3. I managed not to say random things about myself. I actually told people to follow your stream because you stream and I don't. Also told them to follow the runners. Oh yeah, people were asking about potential other tournaments. There is an X4 tournament that they said, but maybe you're more up to date with what tournaments are coming up in terms of Mega Man and the like, because I have not been able to follow up on that.
I believe, well, no, the X4 tournament is up and going, I think, but as far as that, I'm not really sure what other Mega Man related tournaments there are at the moment. I haven't been keeping up with it as much as I probably should.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I make time for commentary, but not really anything. Yeah. Look there, chat actually happily informs you that none of you cared about following the stream. Are you happy now? Maybe you should try advertising it yourself. It might work better, because, you know, no one listens to me anyway. Anyway, meanwhile, we got our dash boots again in the Penguin stage, so we're back up to picking up some good pace on this game. And as per usual with the start of these races, we see both players like really tight and close to each other. They might just as well just be hugging each other underneath the Penguin. And then as soon as we get the Penguin, you see a little difference start to set in. Like, you know, a slide more or less here and there.
So Aki manages to catch back up to Nero going into the Penguin fight.
Yep. And there we go. An almost synced Penguin drop. And then you just need to kind of look around for... Oh, Aki actually misses a shot there. Tries to release it just as he bonks into Penguin. A little thing to note there is that if you try to release your shot on the exact moment that you hit Penguin, or just any enemy for that matter, as soon as you take a bonk and release a shot, your shot's not gonna come out and you will lose the charge. Which is not that painful if you're using a buster, because you can just charge it again. But it's actually quite annoying in other cases. For example, with C-Sting or stuff like that. If you just get hit right before releasing C-Sting, you also lose the C-Sting ammo and that chance at, 10-second invulnerability. So that kind of sucks.
So the time difference between any percent and 90% is about 4.5 minutes or so. The big difference is you have to do revisits for Armadillo, and you have to collect everything in 100%.
It's not 4.5; it's more like 3.5, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Forgot.
Well, yeah, you got a little.
My math is a little wrong. It used to be like 4.5, but now with the optimizations in Hundo,
it's okay. I get it. It's
bit.
morning for you. It's morning for you. Just blame that. You haven't had your coffee yet.
I actually don't like coffee.
So that's why you didn't have it yet. See, it all makes sense. This is exactly why you can't do math in the morning, because you don't like coffee. If you didn't have it, yeah, you can't do math. Anyway, so yeah, there's about 3.5 minutes, and most of it is actually Hundo has all the completion stuff where you need to get the items, but like the biggest time difference is the revisits on Dillo, where you need to run through that stage multiple times, take all those deaths, respawn, run through it again. And that takes a lot of time, because your fortress is actually a lot faster with the Hadoken. It's just that the time you spend getting the Hadoken is really ridiculous. I don't know what drip coffee is, but anyway, going back into Kawanger now. Aki actually gets his dance in. So does Nero. Seems to have it going down well this time. Actually, really early break off by Kawanger for Aki, while Nero gets a bit of a better pattern. It's not the biggest difference, but you know, every little bit counts.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And they're actually really close together still right now.
Yeah, anything within about 10 seconds is still close at this spot in the game.
Yeah, they're only like what, 2-3 seconds apart, so. And with that, we move on to Chameleon. The biggest difference usually in Chameleon is the stage is so straightforward. There's really nothing about it. Most enemies are very easily taken out of the way or dodged. Exception of the swamp can be a little bit tricky when you're starting out because of all that mud stopping you from moving around properly. And then actually when you look at it, the biggest difference usually is this cave that you're in right now and how many bonks you take, because the drops might just be in places where you can't really do much about it. Nero took 2 bonks and Aki 1, so you could say Nero probably lost the second here over Aki. And to tell you how silly it can really be with these blocks is that Nero's first bonk on a block in this cave was a block that was all the way on the ground below his foot, but it still slightly bounced and kind of hit the tip of his toe, and it made a hit on him. So you can't really dodge that. You can't kill the block all the way down there, and yeah.
Yeah, the blocks still have an active hitbox until they are frozen in place, and then after that, they just pretty much become part of the terrain.
Yeah, so sometimes it's really stupid getting through that cave, but you know, well, you can dodge most of them fairly easily, but yeah, here and there, some things gets in that you can't really do.
So, still they're even coming out of Chameleon, so that's always good to see, and now we're coming up to Spark Mangel again, so hopefully the RNG is going to be a little bit more cooperative for
Spark Mangel is really close in stage lag, but we do still go to Eagle first though. Or did I miss part of your explanation? Because I think I zoned out for a second. Justin?
Hmm?
Never mind, it's alright. Clearly, commentator cooperation is not on point today with us, but whatever. It's fine.
I blacked out for a minute. I was checking out my window.
Nice. Why would you look out your window when there is this race going on? Look, there's no death kick even from Key. I wonder if he's actually decided that he doesn't want to drop these races and takes it just a little bit safe because he doesn't want to take such an unnecessarily high risk on this, as it's a potential 30-second time loss when he actually drops down right before the checkpoint.
Yeah. Wants the kick, but not the death.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. Well, I mean, there has to pray to RNGs as well. You know, actually, everyone kind of has to pray to RNGs because, you know, in this game you can be really good, but especially in this category.
Aki getting some dives, and Nero is getting a diveless eagle.
Yeah, makes a big difference in time, actually. This is actually kind of what we talk about when we talk about RNG, because in the races, of course, you're always going to be a little bit less than on top tier game usually, because, you know, you have to take every little mistake as well. But at any percent, this RNG can settle in quite hard with these dives or whatever rules. And it really just makes a difference, especially later on in the game, like Sigma 2. There's such a huge factor. That stage alone can like shift you over 20 seconds purely based on RNG away from your execution. And in the first fights it might not be so bad, but especially in the later fights it's just ridiculous. Because it all stacks up on top of each other.
Looks like both players getting through Zam Hallway very well, and they're both going to come right into Thunder Slammer, basically with the same RNG and at the same time.
I think that's the first decent...
Nero takes out that Thunder Slammer. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say I think this is the first decent Thunder Slammer we've seen for Nero.
Yeah, and he takes out the Thunder Slammer on the second to last boomerang too.
Yeah, it was pretty close, but he made it. It's still better than what we've seen from him before, because he's got some... The second race Thunder Slammer was not bad. Well, the first one was really terrible, and the second one was not bad, but he stayed on the ceiling, so he couldn't really mash him down quickly. Whereas here in race 3, it was actually fairly tight for both of them. And Aki actually still getting pretty good Thunder Slammer luck so far.
So, starting with the main draw, they're going to open with the Buster Charge Shot, and that leaves him with 30 HP, and then they can use Ice to freeze him. And then while he's frozen, he gets hit with the second Ice Shot. So you're going to see here at the very end of the fight, they're going to hit him with the Ice, or while he's frozen, he's going to hit him again. And they're going to position themselves in the middle of the room so that when the explosion is over, they don't have to walk to the center.
And that is something actually that a lot of people might not always see all the time, is that some of the bosses, when you fight them with their weakness, will have double hits applied on them. Mandrill is actually one of those, and then you have Mammoth, where we will be going with Nero right now. It's the same thing. You fire your tornado up close, and while the tornado is still forming, you're gonna actually do a second hit before it starts moving off screen and just pieces out. So it's one of those things that you might not really see while you're viewing, but it's really standard for when you're actually running the game. Is that there are actually some double hits here and there. It's not always obvious because, especially with something like a Mandrill, you might think, oh, he's still frozen, you can't do anything to him. He might still be frozen, but his iframes ran out, so you can attack him as you want. It will just not be a new freeze. Well, I mean, if any race would have gotten a world record for this hero, then it would have been the last race where Aki, who actually has the world record, was on a PB pace until he got infinited by Octo on Sigma 3. So it was pretty unfortunate, but you know.
Yeah. That's RNG for you.
Hey, technically, every run is a world record as long as you playing a video game, right? If you want to be philosophical about it. Ooh, rolls.
We getting not too many rolls.
Yeah, I was a couple extra rolls just to be sure that he got this share today. Not as bad as Nero had him in race 1, but
I should have that that clip prepared in case we get a lengthy roll, and I can just play that.
Sorry, say again.
I have a clip prepared, like I did for lengthy armadillo rolls. Instead of me singing it, I just play the clip of the music.
Oh, okay. 010 announcer, get out. At least say which announcer. I know you're talking about me, but
so Nero making his way through Armadillo. We got Akiteru going through Octo again.
Yeah, on his way to all of the.
I think now
bosses.
that we got these first 2 races out of the way, and they both have a win. I think they got all the nerves and the shakes out of their system.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the person. Personally, I'm someone that will feel a bit less nervous as the games go along. But you know, it might actually mount people. Ooh. It actually makes more sense. When you get to a point where the races get really decisive, it would actually make more sense to get more nerves. But I guess it really just depends from person to person.
Aki got through under that big sub and the mines are nowhere in sight. He just got through, no problem.
No. Oh boy, Nero. Oh.
Uh-oh. Are we... okay,
yeah,
that's...
Okay, that's alright, it's alright. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have been worse. We've seen worse today.
That's just about as insane as Aki's was. It may have lasted another second longer, but it's still fine.
Yeah, it's manageable like that. And Aki gets pretty clean Octo fight. Do not believe there were any interruptions on that one. And with that, we're gonna move on to our final 8 maps of race number 3, which is Octo for Nero and Mammoth for Aki, as per usual.
Yeah, I think the Mammoth stage is a little bit shorter than the Octopus stage, so I think Aki might have a slight lead still, even though we're doing different stages.
Yeah, we'll see it as soon as we get to like the actual boss fights, or when we... Oh, Aki gets a little smash in the face there. Or as soon as they kill the boss, or just as they get to Sigma 1. We're going to see really quickly, but it really feels like the gap has been getting closer in between every run. And in race 1, of course, a lot of unfortunate things happened to Nero, and yeah, there was like, what, a minute and a half or even more behind when he got to Sigma 1. But in race number 2, they were pretty close to each other, and now in race number 3, it's actually even closer. And I do believe that, judging from Aki's timer, he's also gonna have his worst 8 map time yet. And then again, his first 2 races were pretty damn good, to say the least. But here we have both of the Mavericks coming up, so yeah, it does look like Aki is still a little bit ahead. That is still an 18:56 8 map time for Aki. I don't know what is up with this guy, but this is 3 times that he needs to race, and he does 3 times a sub 19 8 map. I don't know.
Yeah, Nero's only 10 seconds behind, so that's not a big gap yet.
Yeah, Nero's been keeping up better and better every race, but these paces out of Aki are just sick, dude. This is, I mean, somebody call a doctor and have a talk with this man, because this is insane.
Once again, this is best 3 out of 5. You need 3 wins to take the championship.
Yeah, and actually to tell you guys, because I see someone say here that like Nero is a lot experience on X Games in general. You know, Aki, even though Aki is not a really big streamer or a big name for a lot of people, but to me personally, I always know when I go to an Akiteru stream as a speed gamer, this guy is someone that really dedicates to his speedruns, and he's actually also just tends to be really fast at whatever he plays, because he's really someone that goes and says, look, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be fast. So Nero is someone that's very well known for his speedruns, but Aki is definitely never a slouch at anything he does.
Yeah. Yeah, Nero played against Louise in the X 100% tournament last year. And Nero came back to X2 after a long hiatus, found some new strats, and not only did he take the world record, I mean, he almost improved his previous personal best by almost a minute in a very short time. So yeah, Nero went on the Big Bop project and took down everybody, even Hetfield, and now is 5 seconds clear of Hetfield in X2.
Yeah, there's definitely some sick records for both of these guys if you check out their speedrun history, that's for sure.
And Nero even further cementing his place by taking the X3 100% record not too long ago, and he's still working to take it down even further.
Aki's still going for that Kuwanger skip. I'm actually surprised that, I mean, we saw him like cut out of the death kick like 2 times in a row now, but he is still going for this Kuwanger skip, and it kind of makes me curious about it, because it's such a high risk to do that. If you're gonna grab the door in the wrong spot and you soft lock, you lose easily like 2 minutes of time. And then you kind of need to... Wow, I looked away for a second and Nero was dead. That is a huge setback.
Yeah, that is.
Boy. Okay, I looked away for like 1 second and he was gone.
I think Kuwanger teleported right on top of him.
Oh yeah, that's always rough on that. Oh god, no, it's gonna.
And with no armor, like taking damage on contact damage is a lot. It's 6 damage. That's not like small by any means.
Wow. Okay, didn't know it was that much. Wow. Well, there you have it. That's a gap creator right there. But you know, we've seen some more stuff happening in the previous races, so definitely not over until it's over. We always have to. Oh, Aki takes.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate hit. Luckily, he didn't die from that.
What?
Oh, everybody died from that one. Oh my goodness, he got too close to the bow spotter.
Wow. To say that it's not over. He has no ice ammo right now.
Oh yeah, that's a huge time loss for Akiteru.
That's gonna sting. I don't get what Aki did. All you had to do was stand still and fire the shot.
I think he got a little too close.
I think he actually tried to dash shoot, right? As the bow spider was next to him, I saw it correctly.
He may have. The thing is, the bow spider goes down really fast when his HP is low, so it's really hard to get a quick read on him. Now, see, Aki has to finish bow spider now with a fully charged buster. It's the next best weapon to use on him when you don't have ice.
The thing is, though, that there were only 3 places. Look, see this pattern Aki has now, where left was completely free?
Yeah.
He had a pattern like that when he died to bow spider, and he was standing on the left, so it's really curious that he died right there.
Yeah. Well, now Nero's got the slight lead going into Sigma 2.
Yeah, and for a slight lead, I mean, we're probably talking like, what, I don't know, 15 seconds here? No, 10, 15?
We'll see how the birds treat Nero here when we get into these refights.
I think we're definitely like speaking about 15 to 20 seconds actually. That bow spider was a huge loss.
Okay, there's the first slide, and we're halfway through this fight, so that's not terrible. But now the RNG is starting to catch up to him.
Three
slides.
Somehow it always seems that 3 slides actually the best
actually
we've seen so far.
3's pretty good. Oh, that's unfortunate when you release the charged fire wave and Penguin is invulnerable, because that takes up a lot of your fire wave ammo. Luckily, you have quite a bit to kind of get you through, but
yeah, and if you actually very briefly tap your shoot button when you're using the fire wave, you can actually shoot a fire wave without even using the ammo. It actually has a lot more ammo than you would think if you just use short taps.
Every unit of ammo for fire wave gives you so many frames of activation with it. It only consumes an. Ooh, yeah. It only consumes.
Stubborn about getting the gap jump there.
Yeah, it only consumes a full ammo once you've used it for a specific number of frames. It's typically like 40 frames or so before it consumes an ammo.
I don't know the exact details on that one, that's for sure. Yeah, you have other weapons as well that do not always consume ammo per shot, and Sting is actually one of them, as you can see here. As you see Nero use the Sting, like every 2 shots he loses 1 ammo.
But when you charge up Chameleon Sting, when you let it go, it consumes 4 units of ammo. That's pretty big.
Okay, I actually did not see that Nero was on the final hit of that one eye, and I'm wondering why his game froze, but it was because the fight was over.
Nero is going into Sigma 3 with about a 20-some second lead, but Aki's still in there, but okay.
It looked pretty close on that last hit there.
Yeah.
I was a bit scared it would drop on the spike, but it was just fine. Nero going for a bit of a safe strat here, gets a Diloscope just fine.
Yep. If you take a bullet shot from that turret there, and X gets turned around, and he's in the perfect position to let the charged ice sled go, and it pushes him right into the door without panning the camera up.
Yeah, there's always a lot of people that are a little bit surprised that, like, why I've never seen this before, that people do that kind of strat. And that's because I do believe that 100% is more commonly run in X1, and then 100% is not so optimal to use that damage boost strat, because you do need to be a full HP for the Hidoken. So that does mean that when you get the Chameleon, you're gonna have to try to do the air Hidoken, I guess you will see most people do. But that means that during your menuing, you also need to refill with one of your sub-tanks, and if you need to use a full sub-tank or whatever to, you know, like fill up on 1 HP, it's a little bit of a waste. So you would either need some luck to get a little drop from one of the miners, or just have to use a full sub-tank because you did that damage boost strat.
Nero keeping Mandrill pinned down here with the ice. Good fight.
Yeah, they're still pretty close together. I guess Nero just keeps the lead that he got out of those, well, strange events in Sigma 1.
And as you see,
taking it dead, but
and as you see, Nero's got those boomerangs ready to go for Octopus, not taking any chances with the energy drains.
Yeah, you have to wonder with the death that Akui took. I don't know if he will be watching the stream by himself or listening into the commentary, but do you think he would actually go for it too? No, he doesn't take his boomerangs.
No.
He's just gonna go do his Akiteru things and go all in on this.
Yeah, he's just gonna go all in for now. I don't see why not. He probably knows he's behind, so.
Yeah, but this is he's not gonna do it on this one. Last hit. that would be stupid. That would.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends how you look at it. Like, he's behind, so it wouldn't make sense. You could say that because he kind of wants to count on the best RNG, but you also need to keep in mind that if you get the worst RNG, it's actually going to be really bad.
Yeah, if you don't cut the tentacles off Octopus, then that's 2 seconds you save from not hitting him with his weakness.
There we see all those double hits onto Mammon.
Curling those boomerangs upwards into the top half of D-Rex.
Whew.
Oh, that boomerang
almost
missed.
Got jumped there.
Yeah, but made it through.
Yeah, and that's a
that's a
fight
very
on D-Rex.
Yeah, that's a very good fight from Akiteru on D-Rex. And he's in the middle of the room too, so this is still close.
Yeah, it is. Also, a little about those boomerangs, because we get this question actually very regularly. It's like, how do they actually curl those boomerangs all the time? Well, actually, you can decide where your boomerang goes. It actually goes along with the direction X is going. If you jump with X in the game and you're still moving upwards and then you throw a boomerang, your boomerang is going to curl upwards. While if you want the boomerang to curl downwards, like for example to pick up the sub tank in Mandrill, you have to wait until you've gotten to the peak of your jump and you start falling back down again. And if you're falling down, then your boomerang is going to curl down as well.
Nero takes down the dog with taking no damage, so that's good for him.
Ooh, 2 hits on Aki.
Oh yeah, now anything that touches Akiteru, he's dead.
Yeah, he has to play Flaws. Now, Jedi is actually not a really difficult fight. The only thing about Jedi is doing it fast. Like, honestly, this guy is the most stupid fight in the entire game almost. Perhaps exception of Chameleon, but if you just climb the wall, he's just gonna climb after you, and he does the exact same thing if you play it out right. So you see here there's no issues with it. So now we just have to see. If there are some nice claws going on, then yeah, it's gonna be hard for Nero to lose it, but
yeah, Nero's looks like Nero's gonna take this game. He's got full health, he can take a hit.
Can go fast.
I don't see Oh yeah. Now that Akiteru died there, yeah, it's definitely Nero's. Yeah. So Nero takes a 2-game-to-1 lead.
Yeah. And that was an official race ball time for 32-25 for Nero. And as per business comments for Akiteru, instantly going into the forfeit and moving on to race number 4. At least we will be going on to race number 4 fairly soon. I don't know if they need a little break or anything, but judging from Aki's screen, he's definitely ready to go. But Nero, as per usual, needs to do his 30 seconds of practice in whatever place he thinks is necessary. So
looks like whoever's tallying the wins tallied 1 too many for Nero. He only has 2.
Look at this guy, just takes 2 whole wins in one go. Wow. What a player. What a player. Crushed it that hard, they gave him all the wins right away. Oh, now he only has 1 win anymore. Wow.
Yeah, that's getting fixed, I think. I'm not sure who's in charge of that, but
well,
I'm sure.
I assume Fiesel is actually is on the job right now.
Yeah,
unfortunately. By which, thank you for all the restreams, Fiesel, and for all the jobs you're doing in the background.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't get 2 wins for beating the world record holder in a race.
Well, I mean, if he did, it would be over already, right? Because then it would have been 2-1 to begin with. I mean, I would be fair with Nero getting a double victory for beating the world record holder in a race if he had to get 6 Mega Man heads and Aki only had to get 3. Because, you know, Aki can't beat the world record holder because he's the world record holder. So there would be like 6 Mega Man faces on Nero's end and 3 for Aki. That would be fair, right?
So, looks like Nero is getting ready to ready up here.
Yeah, we have a rematch getting set up in SRL, so we will be going soon, I guess. Aki is just roaring to go, dude. Like this guy is just wait, what? There was a little. Okay, that's pretty funny. So I guess they missed one of the details, but apparently there was a little error where Aki just like instantly joins, readies up, and Fiesel is like, okay, quitting from the race so you guys can get going, and yeah, kind of set up the race for Aki to start alone.
Nero stating he's wanting a deathless run. Well,
I suppose you can't blame him. It's been a little bit on the unfortunate end of things in that department.
So Akiteru needs to win this game 4, to force the 5th game.
Yeah. Well, of course we have to see how it plays out, but I'm confident in game number 5. I'm gonna regret it because, like I said earlier, my legs hurt. But Jesus, I think I'm gonna be standing here for another hour or an hour and a half.
You don't have a chair?
I do, but I don't want to use it for the finals because I think it makes you more interactive and into what you're doing when you're standing up doing this. If you're wondering where I got that, it's because when you... it's completely irrelevant from this tournament, but when you watch like esports or any other kind of stuff, they're like casters are always going to be standing up because it makes you more free and open and whatever to, you know.
Ooh, Nero gets a bullet but opts to go for the bonk on the body anyway. Interesting.
Sorry, what? At the bottom? What? Anyway.
Nero got both of them. He got both bullet patterns, but opted to take the bonk on the body of B-Blader. So he's still at 8 HP. Same with Aki. So I think they've both been at 8 HP the whole time.
I think their standard is a 1 bonk strat or something. Oh, nice dodge there on the HP from there. I'm not jinxing anyone. I just have a feeling that we're gonna go to game 5 here. Like, I don't know. It's been really close in all of these races. And, you know, there's been some stuff going wrong for both players left and right, which keeps things exciting, but I don't know. I just feel like we could get a game 5 today. But, you know, I could be wrong. It's up to the players to do it.
Nero's ship was a little bit off-center.
No, I'm not League of Legends Southcaster, but I do play it.
So, Aki has probably a half-second lead, almost a full second, and we're going back into Penguin for game 4.
Sure, well, quite a race this has been so far. Actually, it's kind of funny to think all of the times that we've seen, all of the races that we've seen so far, there's not really been anything super clean except for Aki's first race where he had like, what was it, 31, yeah?
Yeah,
that was
like that.
Super good time, but then the other races have all had their fair share of like deaths and mishaps.
Yeah.
Really quite a thing.
It goes to show, you know, MMX seems like pretty straightforward, but remember, you're not getting any body armor in this category, so any hits you take, especially later in the end game, is going to be very, very punishing. And as you've no doubtably seen, they've died a few times.
Yep, they definitely have. And you could say, but Shoutcaster commentators, why do they not go for the body armor? It's that painful. Well, you know, because it costs you like a whole minute of time to beat RT55J in the Chameleon stage, and it really loses you a lot of time. And, you know, at this tier of gameplay, you're just kind of assuming that you're good enough to get through the game without dying and just pulling it through. But, you know, that's just how brutal this category is. No one's really free from taking a death in this category, even at the top tier.
Nero tried to go for a slope jump to get over that tall pillar, but ended up a little short. Had to wall kick off of it anyway.
And yeah, to indeed point it out right there, as CNN puts it, I have to agree with him, outside for the scores for the commentators, that indeed, not even the world record holder is playing deathless here today. Like, Aki has a world record, and we've seen him die as well. So, I mean,
ooh, that was
I think that tells you enough about all of this.
Penguin getting knocked back into Aki there when he let that charge shot go, but
yeah,
luckily you can take another hit.
They were full HP coming in, so it's not bad. A 46 Penguin kill time is actually really good.
Yeah, very good. 50 from Nero, so already Akiteru coming out of the gate strong here in Game 4.
Coming out of the bushes, as we say it in the Discord. Or whatever it was. That's a pretty strong start to take, though. Like, a good Penguin is always an omen for a good start. Wait a minute. Hey, cow. So yeah, you see there is like a decent lead for Aki going. If you just watch this climb and you're like, oh wow, that's a big difference actually for this stage of the game. I don't think they've been this far apart actually at this point. Usually there was always just almost at the same screen. But not this time. Well, I mean, you can play any percent deathless, guys, but, you know, of course, if you're gonna watch, like, Aki's world record runner, like any of these guys' PBs, you're gonna see that it's deathless. It's not that you cannot play this game deathless, but it's just that the category in itself is so brutal that in a race setting, you know, there is always a lot of risk involved in this category. It's just that some things in the later stage of the game just ends up dealing so much damage that you cannot simply always walk through unscathed. Like, any mistake can really mount up to a lot of damage, and yeah, a big time loss.
So let's see how the Coinger fight goes for Aki and Nero. The tricky part about this fight is just timing that jump when Coinger wants to deadlift you. That's really the key to the whole fight. Once you get around that, the rest of the fight's pretty simple. As you see, both players taking out Coinger, no problems. So, he's back in it.
Actually, not sure. I think Aki increased his lead just a little bit on Coinger. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, it may have seemed his lead increased a little bit.
Yeah, it went up a little bit.
If Coinger does the dance almost to the very end of his HP, then you do get quite a bit of time save.
That's rather unfortunate. Little bonk Aki took there at the start of this cave. And right at the end too. Just a little goodbye, love tap from the cave. Don't leave me, Aki. Please stay. Schmack. Yeah, like, Aki actually pulled out ahead about by 3 seconds over the course of the Coinger stage. Little things mounting up to big things.
Timing these shots pretty well as the enemies come on screen here during the the, I want to say, what is that? The swamp section?
Yeah, swamp section. I call it the freestyle section because when you look at people doing the swamp section, everyone has like their little differences going through it with like their charge shot or blue shot, green shot, buster shot, lemon, you know, dash lemon. I mean, everyone has like minor differences in how they execute it, so I call it the freestyle section.
Looks like Aki may have gained a second on Nero here. Nero took a accidental bonk and ended up losing a little bit of time there.
Well, I mean, would it be that tough for anyone to lose here? Let me just ask you. If you were to join the tournament and you got up to the final, would it hurt you to lose in the finals when you're that close to first place? I think you can answer that one for yourself. I mean, it's always gonna suck to be just short of that first place. Like, you know, of course, speedrunning is a hobby for these guys, and it's all in good fun, and it's not like, oh, Aki goes down to the death kick!
Oh, man.
Well, that's, well, anyway, that just happened. Anyway.
Wow. Well, I'm at a loss for words.
And I thought he wouldn't go for it anymore, but, well.
Well, like you said, Akiteru goes for everything. Why wouldn't he go for it?
I guess I just missed a movement there in this previous one, so... Well, he won't be doing it this time because he's all the way off his pattern.
All of the death and none of the kick. Exactly, Draz. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, like, muscle memory is definitely a thing here, but yeah, Aki does tend to go for everything, right? Yeah, well, see, good fires, that's exactly what I mean. I don't know. I think in third place you just get to be that shitter that didn't make the finals, but, you know, that's just my opinion. Damn you, Tokyo! Anyway, no. We don't want any of that it's over stuff business over here.
No, like, it's not over yet. This is just
not
started.
over. This is the start of the any percent race. You know, the race that, what is it? Like, Mega Man X anything can go wrong tournament. We've seen some really weird things. We've seen strange bow spider deaths. We've seen 30 seconds worth of Dillo rolling. We've seen dying to Dillo. We've seen dying to Kuwanger, both on initial and refight.
We've seen double infinite on Octo. We've seen death to bow spider, death to Rangda.
We've seen death to a lot of deaths to Sigma. I mean, why would you say it's over at this point of the game? Like, there's like a million things that could still kill both of these guys. Oh yeah, as I see Nero bong that one little turret, we've seen people die on the Mandrill stage in exactly that hallway. Sorry, Nero.
Just had to bring it up, didn't you?
Well, I mean, we just have to kind of tell people it's not over. I mean... I want to believe it's not over. I want to believe in Game 5. I want to be a believer because I like to see the bees, you know, a believer. I'll just mute myself now.
So Nero stun locking Mandrill to no end. So there's that for Nero. He's got that boss down. Let's see what Nero's... Oh, he gets the fade out.
Saving all those frames.
Getting those extra 20 frames.
Perfection.
Yo, nice emote from Perfection.
Nice Perfection sleeper. Looks just like the real one. So we'll have to see also if Nero may. Actually, you know, Nero put himself up for a goal in this race, and the thing is, if he does make his goal, he will. Then it might be over. Well, okay, not necessarily, but it would be strange to not make that goal and then saying that he loses. But you know. He will kind of have to miss his goal, probably, for Aki to make this back. Because, I mean, their PBs are not that far apart, I suppose. To really do it purely based on the gameplay. But there's still some good RNG that we still have to talk through as well. Like, gotta talk to the mate Mavs, like, come on, Dilla, what are you gonna... Come on, just let me through. And, you know, when Nero passes by, you know, remember game 1? Huh? Come on, you know you want to. What the heck is that emo? Oh, the speed police. Wow. I was not sure what that emote was. Could miss a cutscene skip, yeah, you can do that. Cutscene skips, however, don't generally miss that much.
Well, Armadillo's given Akiteru a chance.
Yeah, definitely good, definitely good.
Gave him a good pattern there.
Yeah, you could soft lock technically, know that. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Except like Nero doesn't really go for any strats that could cause a soft lock. Although I did think there was that, what was it, the 1 in a million soft lock on Sigma 4 thing that I don't really remember about.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, it's because I see Berlin Dude mentioning soft locks in the chat, and I believe he was the one that did that soft lock once, but I don't remember how it went. I only remember he got soft locked there.
Speaking of which, let's just bring this up for refights. For those that don't think a quad slide can happen, ask Berlin Dude.
Ah, yeah, the legendary, well, the mythical.
He goes double slide, the triple slide,
and it was actually already a quadra.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite something. It eluded us for quite some time, but it exists.
And now we're waiting for the quintuple slide.
Oh, there we go. Nero gets some rolls. I actually thought it was gonna last a bit longer, but definitely gets a bit of time back with that. Oh, okay, shoots a very angry spark at that wall. He's like, "A stupid wall, get out of my face." Yeah, Dillo and Nero are definitely not friends. I don't know what Nero ever did to that guy, but, you know.
Okay, let's see how Aki's octopus fight goes here.
So far, pretty clean. No!
Oh my god! Another infinite!
Okay. That's a second infinite in these races. Oh my god, that is... Okay, Butterfinger, to answer to the question, is Akiteru catching up? I don't think so. Not right now, no. Nope.
Wow.
Nope. Not just yet. Not just yet. I still believe. But...
yeah.
It gets pretty difficult from here on out.
Yeah. Everything's gonna have to go wrong for Nero, and everything's gonna have to go right for Aki. But yeah, it's.
I would be pretty mad right now. Tokyo will be proud of Aki, that's for sure. Although it wasn't in the same race, but.
Odd thing is that could happen again.
Yeah, well.
It happened to Tokyo.
I guess after these races, no matter how, if it ends in race 4 or 5 or whoever, it doesn't really matter. I think we're gonna have to ask Aki, have you considered talking to us about our Lord and Savior, the boomerang? But I don't know. I don't know. He might not appreciate it if we do that at this point. Although, yeah, you know.
Wow. Nero weaving in and out of these charged torpedoes from Octopus. That's pretty neat to see. Up, and he wisely gets out of the way.
Yeah, actually Nero does not take the risk. He'd rather just straight up take the time loss. But then again, you see, if you get the infinite, it just costs you that much more.
Yeah. So Nero starting the Sigma stages.
Yeah, imagine that. Like, this is the first time that we see Nero actually ahead, going into Sigma stages.
Yeah. How that infinite works on Octo, when you get grabbed by Octopus, there's actually a counter. And if you mash or wiggle somewhat wrong or something, it underflows the counter, and then you can't ever break out of it. I think it underflows the counter to 65,535, and you die at that point. It's pretty weird.
I don't know what the odds are, but it's pretty low. But, and yeah, Celestino is something that we did mention at the start as well about Nero, is that he's just generally known as a very consistent, safe strat user. But that is like a big deal of why Nero is consistent, is that he learns how to play fast without taking the huge risk plays. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think it made enough sense the way I said it.
He does things that won't cost a lot of time for some unfortunate frame perfect instance or some.
Oh no! Okay,
oh,
please,
please.
Oh.
I thought that was good. Well, that's gonna bring Aki back. Or no, I'm sorry, Aki missed that. I thought Nero missed that. I was looking at the wrong screen. But yeah, that doesn't help matters much for Akiteru.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh no, I still want to believe, but it's getting pretty difficult to hold on to faith right now. I'm not gonna lie. Oh man.
And he was 1 pixel short of that door too. That's the bad part.
Yeah, it was really close. I want to say something, but I'm not gonna say anything because Berlin Nude's gonna say I'm cursing and jinxing people again.
Can Nero world record? No, I do not believe so. No way.
Yeah. But yeah, Nero can game over. Yeah.
You see, now the viewers are cursing this run. It's not us.
It hasn't really been over. I mean, let's be fair. A badly timed death on Sigma 4 is still enough to turn this race. It's just like that. Like, look, Nero's taking a lot of silly bonks there before Spider. That's another 2 seconds to catch up. But it all looks like nothing, but eventually it can be enough.
Well, we just have to watch both Spider do its thing and see how Nero reacts to all the patterns.
Okay.
But getting these spiders do cost you a second, because they have.
There's the Kuwanger skip.
Oh boy, this gives Aki a chance to come back, maybe.
Well, I mean, there's 5 seconds that he's
bit.
gonna catch up. Like, this is the Kuwanger skip. If you haven't seen it yet, you phantom grab the Kuwanger door. And your camera kind of gets locked into place, but if you manage to unlock it by spawning Kuwanger, you lose control of X, but if you get bonked by that one enemy on the wall, you regain control, you can unlock the camera by moving back down and down the ladder, then you can move back up through the boss door that is still there, even though you phantom grabbed it, miraculously. And as you move through, actually Kuwanger just kind of like despawns and the boss is gone. And at best, in a task setting, this will save about 10 seconds, but in RTA, it's safe to say it saves about 5 seconds.
Yeah. Now, see, aren't you glad you don't have to pay Akiteru for the Coanger Skip bounty?
I said I would pay it once, and I did. Darren can confirm.
Yeah, we've seen that once in the tournament by Darren Val.
Yes, there was indeed money promised to the first to get it in the tournament, but that bounty was already claimed by Darren in his races with Fatso, I believe. Was it the race before that? I don't know.
May have been the race before that, but in any event... Aki's starting Stigma 2, and Nero just exiting the Penguin fight. I didn't see how many slides Penguin gave him, but it looked like it was an average amount.
Also, I've seen this question by Jared, probably like 10 times by now. Never, I believe. sorry to disappoint, but when's hard type race? I think never is the only answer you're gonna get out of anyone.
Yeah, for those catching up, Akiteru died on Death Kick and Eagle, and he also died to an Infinite from Octopus. So that's where the gap is in time right now.
You know, I just had this flashback of Nero in the tournament 2 years ago with this Eagle fight, and somewhere someone said at the end of the race, Air Hado alone would flip it.
Yeah.
And it still is offline screen where he got blown off the platform while doing the Hado, and he just dropped into the pit right after.
That's the true Air Hadoken right there.
Yeah. No, not the most efficient one. Ooh. Huh.
Ooh, Nero
couple
missed
missed shots there, but he made it through just fine. Aki getting no dives. Nice.
I'll bring him back into it a little bit. Every little bit of time save he needs right now.
Yeah. Although, yeah, we have to say it as it is. Like, unless Nero makes a mistake, you can't really just bring this back. Aki is actually doing a pretty good job. He's really pulling out everything he has, and Nero does not do the damage strat this time. Oh, interesting to see how he just swaps strats in between. And he does the 4th place spark invented by Walrus Prime at HEDQ. Nice. Just to give a little bit of reference to some of the silly strats we have around here. That strat with the spark where he shoots it as he gets out of the deal is actually legitimately called the 4th place spark.
Easy work of Chameleon from Nero. Now Akiteru's really got to grind it down.
He can do all that he wants, but you know.
And those fast armadillo skips from Akiteru.
Yeah, Aki is a sick deck when it comes to that. It's actually really nice to see. I think I don't see anyone else execute it that way. There is no one that does that skip so fast. Oh, he misses the CFO. Oh no!
Ooh, and he teleports.
It's a lot of damage that he took too, honestly, for a Chameleon fight. You know, it's like everything just stacks up against Aki right now.
Nero does not have the boomerangs out yet. It looks like he's going for it. I think he knows he's ahead, so he's going to give this a shot.
Ooh. That's a lot of damage he's taking, but he doesn't get any drain, so
yeah.
Here we go. Nero betting on... Nero's like, look, you little stupid game cartridge, you gave me all the bad RNG in game 1. So this is game 4, and you're gonna not give me that stuff this time. And it worked out. Just stood up to his cartridge and told him what it's like, and there you go.
Okay, Aki's coming up on Octopus Revenge.
Right. I'm actually at some points just like legitimately scared of watching these things, like because it happened before where I just look at things and I'm thinking about I hope this or that doesn't happen, and then it happens. Like when I see him jump to these drains, I just get so scared to even watch that stuff. Like, ugh, so much damage. No, Aki, what?
Oh,
I'm trying to believe here. I'm trying. Why?
Now that
This is why I don't go to church, everybody.
That I think will probably seal the deal.
Yeah, I don't know. As much as I said I want to see a race 5, I think I.
And that was Akiteru's 3rd death, but he picked up an extra life. I know. So this is probably Aki's last life.
This is rough, dude. This is rough. We're gonna have to see. Either Nero is gonna give Akiteru a chance by missing it here.
I mean, Nero could die on the last fight and still be ahead.
Yeah.
That's how big the lead is now.
Yeah.
So this is probably the final moments.
Whew. This is pretty rough. This is pretty rough.
Deathless. Nero's thinking about Deathless. That's what he's thinking about.
Yeah, that's probably all his mind is on right now. Boy. Aki misses 1 double hit. Ooh.
We could have a PB shot here from Nero, actually.
Is he that close to PB?
Yeah, I think. Well, maybe. Well, maybe not
No,
now. I don't know. My math is not quite there.
No,
but
I don't think he can do. Isn't it the 31-39 for Nero? I don't think he can PB.
Yeah,
here.
no, he can't PB. Not now.
Phew.
It takes 16 seconds at least, and that's already passed.
Okay, let's see what he does.
But he can put.
He's gonna buffer this again. No,
he can
not
still,
even a buffer. Wow.
He can still put up a 31 to finish out the tournament.
Looking pretty good. Oh. Ooh, a hit.
Oh, there's 1 hit. Okay.
Oof. It's down. It's over.
And
it's over!
it's
Nero takes
over.
it! With an official race ball time of 31:50. Because you put it in there late, Nero. What is that? And
that happens.
That's it. That's a tournament.
And that is it. Nero is your Mega Man X Any Percent Tournament Champion.
The man who got approached to join this tournament and said, "I'm not interested in X1 any percent, you guys," and then he joins it to win the entire thing.
And it's deathless.
And it's deathless. Who could forget about that one? Who could forget about that one? Waited until game 4 to pull out the true deathless and puts Aki down again. He was like, "Well, I beat you in the group stage, I can do that again. It doesn't matter that you take race 1. I mean, it didn't look like this at the start, because in race 1, Aki started so strong with that 31-31 and just hammered it. And, you know, then race 2 was a bit more close, and Nero takes it on a flipper, and, what the hell is that, Nero? What the? Nice bird you got there.
Top Mason Grump in chat, boys and girls.
Oh boy, and there Aki goes down. And now he gets the game over. And it looks like Aki is at least gonna finish this. He actually forfeited all the other races to instantly move on to the next. Probably don't want to waste too much time. But I guess for the final race of the tournament, he's gonna close this one out. So I guess we should get behind Aki for a strong finish here. Because I can only guess that Aki is pretty frustrated at this final run. He had like, what, 4 deaths now? That's pretty rough.
Oh, did he die again? I wasn't even watching.
He's fighting the dog for the 2nd time, Justin, please. I know that's a pretty awesome... I know that's a pretty swaggy duck over there, but... Come on, man.
If you pay attention to the credits, you might see the Death Rogamer list if they're at during the list.
Yeah. It comes. Oh yeah. Oh. I must have seen that before, but never realized it's the ship's name. What? Okay, wow. That was a little bit of an odd mistake to see out of Aki. I'm not really sure what he's. Aki seems to be a little bit thrown off with everything that's been happening, I guess. No, gets a couple big ammo drops to refill. Meanwhile, I'm gonna take a little check if Nero actually does want to talk to us today, because last time he was like, no, Drago, I don't want to talk to you. I don't blame him for that, but I mean... Okay, so there we have Valgarder going down.
Aki wants to finish this so bad.
Yeah. Oh well. He doesn't have to be in a rush. Just has to finish up. Ooh. Nero is just putting everything he can possibly find on this PC right now.
I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna shrink that image. He's gonna put it over top of Sigma's face. It's what he should do.
Oh no, we'll see what he does, I guess. I'm kind of trying to look at Aki over here. Ooh. Freaking right claw, man. Nasty.
That right claw has done some people in this tournament.
Yeah.
People have been safe in the corner,
nice.
But then the other...
There we have the finish for Aki. Official race ball time of 36:43.
And then the other claw just decides to come over and just kill you for no reason. And then the left claw will shoot a lightning bolt, and you can't even dodge it because you're stuck between the claw and the wall, and then the lightning shot just gets you.
Yeah, it can do some really nasty things to you. Oh, like, why did he put a sponge image in there? Like, I don't get what Nero is doing. If someone can explain it to me, please do, because I am fairly too stupid. How did I get to be a commentator, dude? Is there even a link between these images? Probably not. Yeah, I wish I understood the memes, but apparently, I don't know. I'm too stupid to be a memer, I guess. I don't know, or not stupid enough, whichever way it could be. I don't know. So I'm trying to see if we can get our runners around here, but so far I have gotten no response out of these guys.
Alrighty, so that concludes that concludes our tournament. It's been a good one. Shoutouts to all of the racers and commentators, and especially Fiesel and company for setting up all the races.
And the restreams, and I think it was actually their initial idea to do a new X1 tournament as well, so without them this tournament would not even have happened. I see Nero apologize when I ask if he wants to chat, and then ask about Aki. So I guess Nero's gonna go with whatever Aki says. So Aki will have the decision if they talk to us or not, I suppose. Yeah, meanwhile, maybe a little rundown of the races. Well, in race number 1 was pretty much Nero had a whole bunch of bad luck, a bunch of Dilla rolls, and whatnot, and Aki just had a really clean game. Put down a 31-31, pretty strong time, hard to contend with, and with that he took race number 1. In race number 2, I'm trying to think what exactly happened there, but I do believe that was a race where they both took a death in Sigma 1, except that Aki took the very painful death, or was that race number 3?
I think that was. I think they both 3.
Yeah, that was race number 3, I guess, where Aki actually in race number 3, Aki had a death to Bow Spider, I think on the very last hit, and Nero died to Kowanger in Sig 1. So honestly, it was a pretty good race, but just a more painful death on Aki's side. In race number 2, I believe they were both pretty clean, but I think they were dead. I just don't really remember where exactly.
Yeah,
it's been a while since that.
Basically, it was deaths that decided the last 3 games. Basically.
Yeah, and here in race 4, I mean, Nero put down his first deathless, and Aki accrued like 4 deaths over the course of the entire race.
Yeah, died on death kick, died to infinite octo, died to octo in the refight.
Yeah, well, it was pretty rough on Aki, you know. It does look like we can get neither of our finalists here on Discord for a little chat here. So I suppose we get to close out without the 2 guys that took it all the way. So we can do nothing except for throw out another congratulations to Nero for winning, and at least say thanks to both of them for putting on a show throughout the entire tournament. And maybe request that they send their apologies to Lasso for having been in a group with them during the group stages by himself. And yeah, with that we kind of have to like wrap up the tournament, but I think if there's anything I do want to say, it's like you should probably take another look maybe at who was all involved into this. Like if there were runners or anyone that you really enjoyed having around in this tournament, you should maybe go drop follow on their stream, show that you appreciate those people. Definitely make sure you follow all the speed gaming channels, but I guess that's been done ages ago for all of you. And one thing I kind of specifically want to mention, because I know that the reason behind the tournament coming from a community is always a little bit that you do try to pull in some people to invite them to speedrun your game. And with that, I do want to say that in the X1 community, we have quite a few tutorials out there. Walrus is probably one of our more well-known people that streams on a high tier that has his own tutorial. Tiki has a tutorial that he did back for the 100 tournament. Sam's done a couple tutorials. This is all to be found on YouTube or their Twitch channels. We have an entire wiki by Sam with a whole lot of information. And on top of that, honestly, most people were a pretty friendly community outside of friendly banter. You might have to put up with that. Everyone's really helpful. Like, you want to go into someone's stream, doesn't matter if you're asking a world record holder or someone who's just like slightly better than you. everyone's going to be willing to help you out. At least most people that I know been in here for a while. So we definitely welcome you to try and play the game. If you need some help, just drop in on anyone. We'll help out. It really doesn't matter. So we also have a Discord. So if you want to get onto our Discord, just PM any of us that you know. If you want, just PM Dragon or Blood Rage there in the chat. That's me. I will gladly provide you with a link. That's all I can think of for now, but please, if you're interested, do contact us. We'll be glad to have you. Right. And yeah, I think I'm done with most of what I wanted to say for that. So I'll leave it to you, Justin.
Alrighty, so final standings, Nero is our champion, Akiteru takes second, Tokyo takes third, and Darrenville takes fourth. So the only other couple of Mega Man related tournaments is the Mega Man X4 tournament, and we have Mega Man 2, I believe. I think it was mentioned in chat a little bit earlier. That's going on. So if you're into the blue guy, you have those two tournaments to watch in the meantime. But I don't have much else to say, so I'm just going to sign out. Thanks for watching the tournament, everyone, and we'll see you again next time.
Yeah. Let's just assume in the future we will have another tournament. Probably will be 100% tournament again, which is a little bit more new player friendly than this brutal any percent category. So maybe that will be in like a year or whenever they decide to contact us about it, and hopefully we'll see some of you people back again at that time, perhaps as runners or again as viewers or as commentators if you want to. I mean, really not hard, even I can do it. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks everyone for tuning in to this entire tournament, and see you later.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.